This morning, out of the blue, my colleague Patrick walks into my office with an avocado in his hand. And he says, I just bought it, but the problem is I can't eat it. It's rock hard. Now, if I let it sit for a couple of days, it might ripen, but it might go brown. You never know. Sounds familiar? Now put yourself in the shoes of our end customers. How do you think they feel? In the next 15 minutes or so, let me take you on a journey on how we can continue to feed the world together in a smarter and fairer manner. I'd like to address three challenges: volumes, changing the game, and it's not just about containers. The container has revolutionized shipping, and we haven't stopped with innovations such as bigger and more efficient ships, faster turnaround, and the use of technology for better monitoring and traceability. And still, nearly 1/3 of all the food produced globally is lost or goes to waste. So we've achieved a lot, but when you're talking about 1.6 billion tons of wasted food every year, what does it mean financially? Well, I'll tell you, it's $1.5 trillion completely gone, and of course shipping is just one part of it. As an industry, we have two options. Each of us can go about it on our own, or we do it together. If we do it on our own, we will all invest substantial amounts of money and people, and in the end, our customers will not reap the benefits from interoperability. If we do it together, we can share some of the costs and research and ensure we give our customers a solution which actually works. We must never forget that digitalization is only one part of transforming our industry. The challenge is enormous. There is a way forward, and here's the first call I want to make. We move the world, so let's be smart about it together. Last Friday, I posted a question on LinkedIn. What digital transformation mistakes should we avoid? And within 1 hour, I got over 20 comments. And one of the comments from a large carrier said, if we truly care for our customers, we should look beyond our own little turf. Absolutely. And we acknowledge that it may be difficult for some to invest in digitalization. However, only mass adoption will make it accessible to everyone. Now, what we're doing at MSC is not very different from what our industry peers are doing. However, our goal is to share, to be interoperable together. It's not about replacing people with digital technology or competing with other carriers, but it's about meeting future demand as we become 10 billion by 2050. In 1980, we were 4 billion humans, and we shipped 3 billion tons. 40 years later, today, we've doubled our population to 8 billion and multiplied by 4 times the cargo to 11 billion tons. By 2030, we're going to have to find a way to ship another 5 billion tons, but we don't have 40 years to get there, and the revolution of bigger ships and the container has already happened. We recognize this need of meeting the growing volumes of the industry. When we spoke to our customers from different sectors, they all confirmed that they want to be in control of what is being monitored and how exceptions are being dealt with. Needless to say, they want reactivity, traceability, and the inclusion of an encrypted private communication channel. To this end, we've launched a series of pilot projects which are in progress as we speak. Now, with the permission of the non-techies in the audience, allow me 2 minutes to satisfy those who are more digitally inclined. We've been offering smart dry containers for some time with measurable success, and we're now targeting mass adoption. And we're doing the same with reefers, although it's a slightly more complex challenge. Here we need bidirectional communication, connectivity to additional sensors, and the ability to communicate on land and at sea. To run select pilots and learn what gives our customers the best value and experience for their money, we've already made 15% of our reefers smart. To enable communication on board, we've already equipped over 70 vessels and connected over 16,000 reefers. The MSC objective is to prove that a modular, scalable, and open IoT architecture is the one to go for. This will allow interoperability between MSC and other ocean carriers, reefer container operators, in a very flexible way. For instance, By enabling the onboard roaming, containers on board any equipped vessel can report back to their respective backends. This allows seamless remote monitoring when at sea, as well as for local monitoring purposes by the vessel crew. Unlike what most people think, the first people to benefit from this solution will be crew members. They will no longer have to be exposed to the elements to verify the readings of a container or to make adjustments. After that, the smart customer will benefit from improved monitoring and increased reactivity. From a technology point of view, the future standards will allow them to customize the final configuration. And only once we get the economies of scale will a shipping company such as MSC benefit. Even more reason for us to do this together with speed. The industry needs more business cases and pilots, and although we have a limited number of resources, if you have a vital endeavor, please do talk to us. And what I'm trying to say, critical to our success is you. We fundamentally believe that a collaborative effort towards establishing new standards has to become the norm. This is what we see as a game changer to lead to a more digitally advanced industry as a whole. And that's the step we need to take together to challenge traditional business modules and drive the entire supply chain towards a new era of connectivity, transparency, and efficiency. Let me give you an example. If you're shipping a smart container from South America to Europe, you may be using different carriers. Only if these carriers have implemented a compatible communication solution on board can the customer have an uninterrupted service and not go blind at any point. Personally, I believe in a win-win-win solution by sharing a unified digital ecosystem, one that is defined by all of us working together. A concrete example is the creation in 2019 of the Digital Container Shipping Association, DCSA, a neutral, non-profit association driving standardization, digitalization, and interoperability in container shipping. Initially conceived as a carrier-driven initiative, today we want everybody to have a say. Why? Because standards require that everybody is on board. Besides the founding members, Maersk, CMA CGM, Hapag Lloyd, ONE, and of course MSC, we now have Evergreen, Yangming, HMM, and ZIM, and we really hope other carriers will join soon. Since its inception, we have been really busy. We've already delivered 5 important standards. 1, the industry blueprint, which is the basis for processes, milestones, and messages for the container journey. 2, track and trace open APIs to achieve alignment and multi-carrier tracking. 3, IoT connectivity, which allows interoperability between smart containers at the radio interface level. 4, operational vessel schedules to enable automatic sharing of vessel schedule data between carriers and operational service providers. 5, load lists and pay plans to enable communication of container load volumes and stowage details between VSA partners, terminals, and ports. And ultimately, this allows for optimization of stowage, load, and discharge processes. And soon, number 6, e-bill of lading. So watch this space. So my second call for this audience is visit dcsa.org. Give us your feedback and ultimately adopt the standards. Which leads me to my last message of today. It does not stop at containers. To ensure that as much shelf life is passed on as possible, each link in the cold chain depends on the best practices all along the supply chain. And to embrace the full potential of IoT, we need to look at the entire journey from the end client perspective. And if we want this to work, it's more than just what's happening inside the container. We need to know what goes on in the truck, in the port, in the customs house, on the train, in the warehouse, and ideally even in the shopping bag. And this is why we need to get you and all of you on board. We're in this game together. Now is the time to agree on the rules. So back to the avocado. Avocados travel a long way before you give them that squeeze in the supermarket to test their ripeness. The likelihood is that this avocado was picked 2 months ago. It was weighed, washed, locked up, chilled, put in the ripening chambers. If we did things differently, maybe we could ship tastier fruit and one that isn't rock hard or brown on the inside, when we buy it at the supermarket. So I'm no expert on avocados, and I don't know all the answers, but collectively, I'm sure we do. Now, to sum up, I'm asking you 3 things. 1, we move the world, so let's be smart about it together. 2, visit dcsa.org and help us with the mass adoption of standards. And 3, as an industry, we need more business cases and pilots, so we'd really like to hear from you. Thank you.